Bowman Field out at Taylorsville Road area, and it is swirling around, and it looks like smoke underneath it. There is no real tight, definitive tornado as such. It's still turning in a large... Yes, there's one now. Started, yes, dipping down from the bottom of the cloud, and let's see, that will be over in the Highlands, and probably along Bardstown Road and somewhere near Eastern Parkway is where I guess that one is. The power transformers have been blowing irregularly in the path of this thing, big, large explosions of blue-white light that help to clock it pretty well. Now, it's clearing up very nicely behind it. As a matter of fact, just south of Standiford, it's clear. I can see all of the hills. The Iroquois Park area is just about out of it now. But it is definitely moving up toward the Crescent Hill water tank now, and I'm starting to get some strong, very strong gusts way out here on Bardstown Road near the GE plant. That's the way it looks to me. Be very, very careful. Dick Gilbert, Skywatch 84.
Okay, Dick, thank you. And Byron Crawford is here.
All right, Jeff, Dave Reeves of the Weather Service is on the phone. Dave, you've seen something.
Yes, we've been tracking this tornado on radar, and we just witnessed it past north of Standiford Field here. It was north of the fairgrounds. To us it appeared like it maybe went over the Executive Inn area, but I'm sure it was north of there. It was moving almost due east, and it was quite a black shaft, and you could see debris lifting up in the shaft. So anyone in eastern Jefferson County and the counties just east of Jefferson should, I would say, take cover at once if possible.
Dave, is there any indication that there is more than one tornado in the vicinity?
No. Once these echoes get right overhead on our radar, we just see one big spot, and it's quite difficult until they move out away from us, say 10 miles east of us, then we start picking them up again. But we didn't have any indication there'd be more than one funnel. But it's not uncommon at all to have, 2 or 3 funnels. We did see this one touch down, and it was quite a swirl.
All right, David, I suppose that the rules for taking cover in tornadoes then should apply, and people should definitely, if they can, move out.
Definitely. If you're in eastern Jefferson County or the counties just east of Jefferson, very definitely I would take some kind of shelter if I could find it.
All right. Thank you, Dave Reeves of the Weather Service. Jeff?
All right, Byron, I guess it might be a good idea just to go over one more time some of these rules here for tornado safety. You should seek inside shelter in a tornado cellar or basement or steel-framed or reinforced concrete building of substantial construction. Stay away from windows. In homes, the corner of the basement toward the tornado, usually the southwest corner, generally offers the greatest safety. People in houses without basements will receive some protection by taking cover under furniture, such as a large table against an inside wall in the home. In office buildings, stand in an interior hallway or lower floor, preferably in the basement. In factories, on receiving a tornado warning, post a lookout. Workers should move quickly to sections of the plant offering the greatest protection. In open country, move away from the tornado's path at a right angle. If there is no time to escape, lie flat in the nearest depression, such as a ditch or a ravine. And we've had these sightings. And Bob Johnson was in here with a report from the police about some of the activity that had happened out at Freedom Hall. There were some reports that there was some damage out there at the fairgrounds. We don't have much more on that story. We will. It's 4:44 on WHAS. We have suspended our normal operations here as this tornado situation develops. We have News Director Glenn Baston here, and Glenn, what have we now?
Well, we've just talked with Freedom Hall, and they're still trying to assess the damage out there, I should say, the Kentucky Fair and Exposition Center, and according to an official, they really don't know what the damage is there. They do know that apparently one of the horse barns was damaged by these winds. They do not think at this time that Freedom Hall has been hurt. Let me emphasize, if I may, Jeff, that we will pass along all the information that is available from the Weather Service, from Dick Gilbert, from the police. Please do not tie up the phone lines of these agencies. If you have something to report, a specific item, please report it to the police, but don't call them or someone else to find out what's going on. Jeff?
Glenn, at this point, we have a report from City Police that the tornado is still rather strong and is moving into the St. Matthews area at this time.
Okay, Jeff has something new to add, I think.
Glenn, why don't you just come over here very informally? You can't do it on that line. I've got John Burke of the Weather Service on the line here, and we'll just make the right connections, and we'll be...
All right. Yes, John.
Yeah, that storm, we could watch it come right in on the airport here, Glenn. There was no funnel in it until it actually got right to the airport. Then a funnel developed right in the parking lot north of the terminal building and moved on to the east. And it's moving eastward 45 to 50 miles per hour. So this was 10 minutes ago, so that's over in the eastern part of Jefferson County now, moving on eastward. However, Glenn, we do have another big storm down south of us, headed east, and it's headed in the direction of Mount Washington, another one about the same size. And so for the next hour or so, the Mount Washington area certainly should be on the alert for developments and take all proper precautions, like we were mentioning earlier.
Okay, now this cloud, this storm that is moving through Jefferson County, does it appear on your radar to be moving out of the heavily populated area?
Yes, it's over east of, I would say east of Bowman Field now, and moving on eastward at about 45 to 50 miles an hour. And as I say, when it went through here, it didn't have a funnel when it came in, but the funnel developed right here in the parking lot. And then it moved on the eastern. We could see it move on off to the east. And that's when I left the area before, because I was going to get out of there. I was right next to the window, and I was talking to Chuck, and I just thought it was time for me to leave.
I can't really say that I blame you. The Mount Washington storm, what does it appear right now to, does it appear to be another severe one?
Yes, another one, and on the intensity of the one we had, and it could very well contain a tornado also. So those people in that area to the south of Louisville, across through into the Mount Washington area there and on across in that direction from Oklahoma on across through there. Just take precautions. I would certainly advise getting down in the basement with your portable radio and stay on top of the situation.
Did these two storms that you're talking about now appear to be the major ones that are developing at the moment?
Well, at the moment, yes. We've had development and dissipation throughout the afternoon. Storms build, and then after a while, they tend to dissipate once they use up all the energy available. I would imagine this storm that just passed through here has probably reached maximum, and then probably approaching a dissipating stage at this time. But nevertheless, in the east of Jefferson County, it should be on the alert for the next hour or so anyhow.
What did you estimate the winds in this particular one at?
We probably had a wind measurement here. Let me check just a moment.
We got one on the ground.
Well, we're talking with John Burke, who's chief meteorologist for the Louisville National Weather Service.
Stand by just a moment, Clint.
All right.
3-knot winds here at the airport, translated into miles per hour, a little over 80.
So we could well be counting up some damage before too long.
I'm sure, yeah. Dave Reeve just mentions another storm at on the ground at Elizabethtown, and just about as strong as the one we had here, and that one's also moving east-northeast about 45 miles an hour.
All right, so right now we have 3 storms active, one around Elizabethtown moving to the east-northeast, another one that is moving toward Mount Washington, and one just moving out of eastern Jefferson County.
Right.
Will this one in eastern Jefferson County, by chance, John, skip the river and go into southern Indiana?
The way it's headed now, it looks like it'll stay on this side of the river for a while, yet it isn't moving that much toward the northeast. I would think persons in Oldham and Trimble and Henry County, I hate to mention that term, Henry County, but nevertheless, those areas are in the path of this activity headed off to the east here.
Okay, John. Why don't we just keep this line open, if we might, and if you have something to add, you can really pick it up, and we can get straight on the air.
Okay.
Right.
You want to just hang on here then, huh?
All right, fine. Jeff, I think Chuck Paddock just walked in with probably some additional information from the police.
Well, the only thing we have at this point from the police is that they have cited that tornado and that it is moving, they say, in the direction at this point of the St. Matthews area, and they warn people in the St. Matthews area to take cover at this time. They say the storm, from their indications, is still as strong as it was when it passed over the airports in southern Louisville.
So the St. Matthews area is the next area people should be concerned about. If they live out there, they should take cover as of, like, right now.
Right.
Uh-huh. Okay, are we... shall we proceed here? Just as soon as you have any more information, we'll cut back in and bring everybody up to date. All right?
Sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Aristides in 1875. Whirlaway in 1941. Secretariat in 1973. And this year, the 100th running of the world's greatest horse race. To celebrate, First National Bank brings you a set of official 1974 Derby glasses, the same as sold at Churchill Downs. 6 glasses listing every Derby winner since 1875. The set is yours for just $3.50, tax included, when you open a new checking or savings account for $50, or add $50 to an existing savings account. This year, see the 100th running with a new set of glasses. A set of 6 in a carton suitable for mailing, while supply lasts, at all 38 branches of First National Bank.
All right, if Dick Gilbert can hear us in Skywatch 84, let's go up there right now for a report from his vantage point. Well, I guess they're talking on that system right now.
Well, to repeat at this time what we have going, Jeff, because people may have been moving to their basements to take cover and may have missed some of the things. We still have the storm in Jefferson County. It's moving into the St. Matthews area at this time. A rather intense storm at the airport, funnel cloud sighted as it moved across that area, and that's the same storm system. We also have a report of a storm on the ground at Elizabethtown moving toward the east-northeast, about the same intensity as the storm which has passed over Jefferson County. And in the Mount Washington area, another strong storm moving into Mount Washington, and that is as intense as the storm which we had in this area. And people should be on the alert in Mount Washington until about 5:45 this afternoon. And that's what we have, 3 storm systems moving across this area.
All right, I don't know about, let's see if we can do anything with Dick Gilbert here. I think he is on another line, checking with, well, wait, just to make sure I've got the right buttons here. Dick Gilbert in Skywatch 84, can you hear us?
Yes.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
I've been talking to the newsroom, Jeff. I'm right over the fairgrounds. First of all, let's talk about traffic. This tornado touched down right here at the horse barns on the North-South Expressway, and it has turned over several cars. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would say 8 automobiles have been blown across the road or turned over. There's an ambulance here working in the road. Traffic northbound is moving and trickling through here one at a time. Southbound, well, yes, the same thing, getting way over on the shoulder. Now, the wind damage hit the roof of Freedom Hall, and it tore 3 big holes in the roof. Then it moved over on the eastern end of the building and ripped off about a third of the roof here. The horse barns are no more. It totally wiped out the horse barns. All of the mobile homes and trailers behind the Freedom Hall have been completely torn up. And over by the, I think it's the Twilight Drive-In here, we've had about 4 trailers completely torn apart. There is fire equipment and emergency equipment in there. Now, be very careful. On Crittenden Drive, I see more police cars and emergency equipment heading down toward the trailer park there that's just off the southwest corner. Apparently, this is where the twister first touched down, and this really caused a problem. Avoid that north-south expressway. They can only get 1 or 2 cars through it at a time, and try and use some other route. That's the way it looks from up here. Dick Gilbert, Skywatch 84.
This is Chuck Paddock. Can you see the storm at this time from your viewpoint? In the
no
eastern part of
longer, Chuck. The only dark area I see is, let's see. I would put that out beyond Indian Hills on the river heading toward, say, Harrods Creek at this moment. I'm looking back now the other direction, looking for this other one you mentioned at Elizabethtown, and it still looks clear down the river there past West Point. There is a gray area over toward Fort Knox. That's the way it looks now. We're in a kind of a clear area at the moment.
Okay, we'll be checking back with you in about 5 minutes, shortly after 5 o'clock.
We will have the news at 5 o'clock, and there is much news today.
I might also mention something that I've just learned, and I don't want to step on you, Jeff, but we've got all kinds of information pouring in. WHAS and WHAS-FM are now simulcasting. That means the same weather information is being heard both on AM and FM, so if you're having problems with your AM radio because of static or something, we are also on FM, WHAS at this time with the weather information.
Okay, now going back a second, from what Dick Gilbert told us, there was some damage out at the fairgrounds. There were a number of cars that were blown across the roadway, and he said somebody was working in from an ambulance out there. Yes, Van Vance is here and has a word.
Right. I just talked to Gordon Crawford of the Colonels, who was at the executive